Welcome back, folks. Today, we're diving into Britain's top 3 news stories of the week that have been blowing up online. From bizarre court cases to international incidents, we've got it all. These stories have received the most attention via clicks, Google searches and social media. So, buckle up, grab a cuppa, and let's wade into the glorious mess that is British news this week. First up, we have the story of Natasha Harding, a woman who seems to have taken the phrase "fake it till you make it" to a whole new level. Now, we've all embellished our resumes a bit, right? Added a few extra Microsoft Word skills we may or may not possess. But Natasha, oh Natasha, she went above and beyond. This woman, with a straight face and apparently an even straighter CV, managed to convince a university that she was a clinical psychologist. And not just any university, folks, a prestigious one at that. She even managed to see patients. Now, I'm not saying she wasn't qualified to listen to people's problems. Maybe she gives great advice at the pub, but I'm pretty sure, have you tried turning it off and on again? Doesn't quite cut it in the world of clinical psychology. The best part? She got caught, obviously. You can't just waltz into a university with a printed-off Wikipedia page of psychological terms and expect to get away with it forever. The jig was up when, and I'm not making this up, she misspelled psychology on an official document. You see, folks, attention to detail, it's important, even in the world of elaborate deception. Now, while some might call her actions audacious, I can't help but admire the sheer gumption of it all. I mean, the woman's got confidence, I'll give her that. But let's dive deeper into Natasha's story. How did she manage to pull off such an elaborate ruse? It all started with her uncanny ability to mimic the behaviors and language of a true professional. She spent countless hours studying psychology books, watching lectures online, and even attending seminars. She was determined to learn the jargon, the theories, and the practices that would make her appear legitimate. Natasha practiced her role meticulously, rehearsing in front of a mirror, perfecting her demeanor, and ensuring she could answer any question thrown her way. Her dedication paid off as she managed to navigate the clinical setting with surprising ease. Patients trusted her, colleagues respected her, and, for a while, everything seemed to be going smoothly. However, the cracks in her facade began to show when she was asked to participate in a staff meeting. Her lack of formal training became evident when she struggled to contribute meaningfully to the discussions. Whispers of doubt started circulating among her colleagues. They began to question her qualifications and scrutinize her background more closely. The university administration launched an investigation, digging into her credentials and verifying her claims. It didn't take long for them to uncover the truth. When confronted, Natasha's confidence wavered. She tried to maintain her composure, but the evidence against her was overwhelming. The case eventually went to court, where Natasha faced charges of fraud and deception. The courtroom was packed with people eager to see the outcome of this bizarre case. The judge delivered a stern verdict, emphasizing the seriousness of her actions and the potential harm she could have caused to her patients. Natasha was sentenced to prison. Her dreams of a career in psychology shattered. But her story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of deception and the importance of honesty. It's a reminder that while confidence and ambition are valuable traits, they must be grounded in reality and integrity. The university has since tightened its verification processes, ensuring that such a deception can never happen again. And for those aspiring to enter the field of psychology, Natasha's story is a stark reminder of the rigorous training and ethical standards required to truly help others. So, while Natasha's tale is one of audacity and deception, it's also a lesson in the value of genuine expertise and the importance of earning one's credentials the right way. In the end, Natasha's confidence was both her greatest asset and her ultimate downfall. A fascinating story indeed. Next up, we have a story that's less laugh out loud, funny, and more nervous chuckle while refreshing the news every 5 minutes funny. You know, the kind of story that makes you question the state of the world while you sip your morning coffee. Britain, in a move that surprised absolutely no one, has decided to send long-range missiles to Ukraine. This decision, while not entirely unexpected, has certainly stirred the pot on the international stage. Now, I'm not a military strategist, but I'm pretty sure lobbing explosives at a problem rarely results in a peaceful resolution. Historically speaking, adding more firepower to a conflict has seldom been the recipe for tranquility. But hey, what do I know? I just watch too much news, and if there's one thing the news has taught me, it's that the world is a complicated place with no easy answers. These missiles, affectionately dubbed Storm Shadow, which sounds like the name of a villain from a low-budget superhero film, are apparently capable of traveling a whopping 155 miles. That's a significant range, enough to make anyone on the receiving end quite nervous. That's like, what, from London to Birmingham? To put it in perspective, imagine the sheer distance and the potential impact such a missile could have. Imagine the sheer chaos if someone launched a missile from Birmingham. The thought alone is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Anyway, the point is these missiles are a big deal, and sending them to Ukraine is a big decision. It's not just about the hardware, it's about the message it sends to the world. Now, the government, in their infinite wisdom, has assured us that these missiles are purely for deterrent purposes. They claim it's all about maintaining balance and preventing further escalation. They're just there to, chill out, look menacing, and remind everyone that Britain has a very particular set of skills. Skills that are meant to keep adversaries at bay. Skills they've acquired over a very long career. A career filled with strategic maneuvers and calculated risks. Skills that make them a nightmare for people like, well, you get the idea. The kind of skills that make potential aggressors think twice before making a move. Of course, Russia, being Russia, has responded to this news with all the subtlety of a bear trap in a bull pit. Their reaction was swift and predictably dramatic. They've basically said that sending these missiles will have serious consequences. The exact nature of these consequences remains shrouded in ambiguity, but the threat is clear. What those consequences are, no one knows. It's a game of geopolitical chess, with each move carefully calculated and fraught with tension, but I'm sure it'll be fine, everything's fine, or at least that's what we tell ourselves as we navigate this complex and often bewildering world stage. The history of international relations is filled with such moments of tension and uncertainty. Each decision, each action reverberates through time, shaping the future in ways we can't always predict. Diplomacy, they say, is the art of letting someone else have your way, and in this intricate dance of power and persuasion, every move counts. The international community watches closely, each nation weighing its options, considering its alliances, and preparing for whatever comes next. Meanwhile, the people, the everyday citizens, hope for peace and stability. They are the ones who bear the brunt of these high-stakes decisions. Families gather around their televisions, discussing the latest developments, wondering what the future holds for their loved ones. Amidst the tension, there are always those who strive to make a difference, to bring relief and support to those affected by conflict. And so the world waits, hoping that cooler heads will prevail, that diplomacy will triumph over aggression, and that peace will find a way. Because at the end of the day, we all share this planet, and our collective future depends on the choices we make today. Let's hope that those in power remember that and work towards a future where missiles are a thing of the past and peace is the norm. Until then, we watch, we wait, and we hope for the best. Because in this ever-changing world, hope is sometimes all we have. Chapter 3. Suggested item 3. This chapter is all about the fascinating and sometimes hilarious world of CV writing. Now, let's dive into the third story of the week. It's a tale that many of us can relate to, especially if you've ever had to write or review a CV. It's all about the creative liberties some folks take when crafting their CVs. You know, those little embellishments that turn mundane tasks into grand achievements. You know, the kind where experienced in customer service somehow translates to once spoke to a cashier at Tesco. It's amazing how a simple interaction can be spun into a skill set. And oh, don't get me started on the government's latest attempt to streamline job applications. Their new guidelines are supposed to make the process easier, but it seems like they're just adding more layers of complexity. It's almost as if they're encouraging people to turn their CVs into works of fiction. The more creative, the better, it seems. But where do we draw the line between creativity and dishonesty? I mean, who wouldn't want to hire someone who claims to have extensive experience in time travel? Imagine the possibilities. But in all seriousness, these exaggerations can sometimes backfire. Well, it seems like the line between fact and fiction is blurrier than ever. Employers are left trying to decipher what's real and what's not, and it can be quite the challenge. But hey, at least it keeps things interesting, right? There's never a dull moment when you're sifting through a stack of CVs. Each one is a little story, a glimpse into someone's life, albeit sometimes a very imaginative one. So, the next time you're updating your CV, Remember to keep it honest, but don't be afraid to let a bit of your personality shine through. After all, a CV is not just a list of jobs and skills. It's a reflection of who you are. And for those reviewing CVs, take each one with a grain of salt. Look for the genuine qualities and skills that stand out, and maybe have a laugh at the more creative entries. In the end, the goal is to find the right fit for the job. Someone who not only has the skills, but also the creativity and personality to thrive in the role. So, here's to the art of CV writing. May it continue to entertain and surprise us. Well, there you have it, folks. Just another normal week in the weird and wonderful world of British news. Remember, if you ever find yourself feeling down about the state of the world, just take comfort in the fact that at least you're not the one who misspelled psychology on a job application. Please could you do me a huge favor and hit the like and subscribe button? It really helps me out. Thanks for watching.